Hello everybody. How are you all? What Tarika? What did you eat? Oh, you had kara korambu? Okay, kara korambu with rice. Nice. Okay, so we'll go ahead with the remaining chapter now. See, you should know here in the 19th century saw vast leaps in mass literacy in Europe, bringing in large numbers of new readers among children, women, and workers. So, under each category, you will have certain important points. You know up to that, that's enough. Frida. So, when you speak about children, you should remember Grimm brothers. When you speak about children, you should remember Grimm brothers. Yeah. So, children became an important category of readers. Okay, category of readers. Production of school textbooks became critical for the publishing industry. A children's press, underline, a children's press devoted to literature of for children alone was set up in France in 1857. In 1857, this press published new works as well as old fairy tales and folk tales. புரியுதா? Number 1 children அப்படின்னா என்ன நீ ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும்? Children's press where it was set up 1857. Okay. Now the Grimm brothers in Germany spent years. You can write about Grimm brothers. Okay, they have spent how many years? 6 years. Okay, spent 6 years. Compiling traditional folk tales compile பண்ணிருக்காங்க and gathered from peasants. Okay, because they have toured village to village போய் they have gathered, and what they collected was edited before the stories were published in a collection in 1812. Very important because it is already also there in chapter 1. 1812 it was published. Okay, anything that was considered kandipa children அப்படின்றதால if it is unsuitable, okay, unsuitable என்ன ஆகும், would appear vulgar to the elites, was not included in the published version. Rural folk tales thus acquired a new form. In this way, print recorded old tales but also changed them. That's all. So when you talk about children, what you should remember? Children's press where it was set up in 1857. Then about Grimm brothers in Germany spent 6 years compiling traditional folk tales gathered from peasants. அவங்களோட பாலிசியை தாஸ்வோக் காமன் பீப்புள் கிட்ட போய் பேசி அதனோட ட்ரெடிஷனலை கலெக்ட் பண்ணுறது தான் ஓகே அவங்களோட தீம். அண்டர்ஸ்டுட்? எஸ். அண்ட் when it was published 1812 it was published. Okay, yes. So if it is like anything, if it is like vulgar or unsuitable, they were not published. Okay, that's all. When you speak about women, what you can speak about them? Women became important readers as well as writers. Number 1, ஜென்ரலாக நீ விமன் பற்றி சொல்லணும்னா நிறைய படிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க, படிச்சவங்க அவங்கள பற்றி எழுத ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. They have become readers as well as writers. Now penny magazines were especially meant for women. Underline, it's a very important one mark. So when you are talking about children, you should remember Grimm brothers, children's press in France 1857. Grimm brothers folk tales are published in 1812. And then for women, what happened actually? Penny magazines were especially meant for women because அந்த magazine என்ன போட்டிருக்கோம்? Teaching proper behavior and housekeeping. Women எப்படி இருக்கணும், housekeepingனா என்ன? Yes. And also about women, this is the first point. Then the second point, what you can say? இதெல்லாம் என்ன செஞ்சுரியில நடக்குது? 19th century. 19th centuryல childrenக்கு womenக்கு. Okay, womenல யார் யார் இருக்காங்க? Some of the best known novelists, Jane Austen, Bronte sisters and George Eliot. Understood? Name those women novelists, Pratipha. Jane Austen, George Eliot. Okay, sit down. Agilan, name those 3 novelists. Bronte sisters. Good. Sit down. Now a person with will, see their writing became important in defining a new type of women. ஒரு women இப்படி தான் இருக்கணும்ன்றத அந்த novelists they are writing in their novels. Okay, எப்படி எழுதுறாங்க? A person with will, strength and strength of personality, determination and the power to think. Highlight பண்ணிக்கோப்பா. women இப்படி இருக்கணும், will power இருக்கணும். See, more for a very long time women were denied education. அவங்களுக்கு தெரியவே தெரியாது. அந்த காலத்துல இருக்க women whatever men men say they will just listen to that. அப்படிதான் இருந்தாங்க. அவங்க எப்போ படிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சாங்களோ அப்பதான் they have understood will powerனா என்ன, self confidenceனா என்ன, இது எல்லாமே. ஓகே, so what they have, a person with will, strength of personality, determination and the power. And working people, children பார்த்தோம், women பார்த்தோம், அடுத்து workers, working peopleக்கு lending libraries underline பண்ணிக்கோ. lending libraries was lending libraries were famous in England. இங்கிலாந்துல ரொம்ப ஃபேமஸ் அது. ஓகே, in 19th century lending libraries in England became instruments for educating white collar workers. Underline white collar workers, artisans and lower middle class people. Sometimes self educated working class people wrote for themselves. Number 1, you should write about workers பத்தி எழுதும்போது என்ன எழுதணும்? lending libraries in England, okay, which became an instrument for educating white collar workers, artisans and lower middle class people. Good. அடுத்து என்னன்னா, after the working day was gradually shortened from the mid 19th century, workers had some time for self improvement and self expression. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி எல்லாம் they should work like a donkey. புரியுதா? ரொம்ப நேரம் ஒர்க் பண்ணணும். ஆனா working hours when it was reduced, அவங்க என்ன பண்ணாங்க? they could find some time for their self improvement, self expression. அவங்களுக்கான அவங்க டைமை ஒதுக்கிட்டு என்ன பண்ணியிருக்காங்க? they wrote political tracts, autobiographies in large numbers. Underline. That's all, my dear. It's a very important 3-mark question. In 19th century, all 3 topics. Sometimes can be asked in 5-mark also, but last time it was asked in 3-mark. Yeah, no, here in the exam. So any question can be asked in any manner. Danyasri, tell me. Children, women, workers. About children, you tell me. From peasants. And also you can add in children, okay, whatever, if it is considered vulgar or unsuitable for children. Good. Workers. When you think of workers, what should come to your mind? Lending libraries. Good. Lending libraries in England became an important instrument educating. That is what white collar workers, artisans and lower middle class people. Okay, what was this? How how they have defined a new type of women. ஒரு women இப்படி தான் இருக்கணும். How are they defining? A person with will, strength of personality, determination and the power to think. Okay, we should not always listen to others. You should think. அந்த லெவல்ல கொண்டு வந்தாங்க அந்த women novelist. Yes. Then finally you should write as the working day. அந்த பாயிண்ட் எழுதணும். Working day are shortened. என்னாச்சு? As the working day shortened, what happened? Sit down. Good. As the working day shortened,
workers had self-improvement.
Workers could spend some time for the self-improvement and self-expression. Then, so all of them have started writing autobiographies and
large
political tracts. Political tracts and autobiographies on a large count. Okay. Hey, what is this? Penny magazine front piece. Okay. So front is piece of Penny magazine. Penny magazine was published. Okay. It was aimed primarily at the working class. Penny magazine. Ma, any doubts with this? Further innovation you see here. என்னென்னலாம் further innovation நீ பார்க்கலாம்? Yes, அவர்தான் ஞாபகம் வரணும். Listen, yeah. Through the 19th century, there were a series of further innovations in printing technology. What were the further innovations? First thing, Richard M. Howe of Newark had perfected the power-driven cylindrical press. Number 1. This was capable of printing how many sheets? 8,000 sheets per hour. Okay, this press was particularly useful for printing newspaper. இது exclusively அவங்க எதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க? Newspapers. ஏன்னா newspapers daily பண்ணணும், நிறைய வேணும். So power driven is useful. புரியுதா? Now, in the late 19th century, offset press was developed which could print. Underline பண்ணிக்கோ. Offset press was developed. அது என்ன பண்ணும்? Print up to 6 colors at a time. Second point. See about Richard M. Howe, what you could write? Invented power-driven cylindrical press. Capable of printing 8,000 sheets per hour. Gutenberg ஓடது என்ன? 250 sheets on one side per hour. Good. Then particularly for newspapers. 3 point எழுதணும் அதுல. Okay, அடுத்து offset press எதுக்காக? 6 colors at a time. அடுத்து from the turn of 20th century, electrically operated press accelerated printing operation. A series of other developments. என்னென்ன? Methods of feeding paper. Underline. Feeding paper அதுவே கொடுக்குற மாதிரி. Papers வச்சுட்டா அதுவே papers எடுத்துக்கும். இப்போ இருக்கிற machines. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி you will have to put it manually. Sheets மட்டும். Printing அதுவே electrical பண்ணும். So அப்போ feeding press add பண்ணிக்கிட்டாங்க. Okay, feeding paper improved and the quality of plates became better. Automatic paper reels and photoelectric controls of the color register were introduced. The accumulation of several individual mechanical improvements transformed the appearance of printed text. Printed text la nariya இப்பலாம் எத்தனை fonts வந்துருச்சு, அதுக்கு முன்னாடி இப்பலாம் கிடையாது. Understood? Further innovations also can be asked in 5 mark. Be ready with the 5 points. Tell me, Tarak, what are the further innovations? Yes. Good. Offset press. 6 colors at a time. Okay. Okay. Became better. Automatic paper reels. Okay, nice. Good. Sit down. Also, you should know. Listen. In 1920s in England, popular works were sold in cheap series. Underline. Cheap series also called as. That's a 1 mark. Cheap series also called as shilling series. 1 mark. Okay. The dust cover. Adume innovation da. You should add this also. Prida. The dust cover or the book jacket is also a 20th century innovation. With the onset of Great Depression in 1930s, publishers feared a decline in the book purchases. To sustain buying, they brought out cheap paperback editions. Underline. இதோட முடிக்கணும். Great Depression கவனிங்க. When our livelihood, basic livelihood இங்க endangered இருக்கும் பொழுது, can we spend our money for the entertainment? முடியாது இல்லையா? அப்ப அந்த டைம்ல நம்மளுடைய பிசினஸ் எப்படியாச்சும் நம்ம மெயின்டைன் பண்ணணுன்றதுக்காக they have introduced cheap paperback editions. Underline. With that you should finish it off. See, portion is clear. இவ்வளவுதான் portion இருக்கா? என்ன டாபிக்காச்சும் கொடுத்துட்டு they could ask in 5 mark question. ஒவ்வொரு டாபிக்கையும் உனக்கு அழகா பாயிண்ட்ஸ் எழுத தெரியணும். You can write your own points. That is, book pointsல any 5 எழுதலாம். Whatever I have highlighted. Ma, look at here. What is this? Advertisement at a railway station in England. Hey, what is this here? India and the world. இது வரைக்கும் நம்ம பார்த்ததுல இந்தியா வரல. புரியுதா? Where we have started? Middle East Asia China, Japan, okay, Korea, and then Europe. Hey, Europe now உனக்கு யார் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஞாபகம் வரணும்? மார்க்கோ போலோ. இயர் சொல்லுங்க. வெரி குட். ஓகே, அடுத்து என்ன பார்த்தோம்? குட்டன்பர்க். ஏன்னா நம்ம யூரோப் வந்தாச்சு. ஊர் சொல்லுங்க. வாட் இஸ் த Strasbourg, Germany. Great. And then when he had invented 1448. What was the model? Then what you have seen afterwards? Speed of printing on the 250 sheets on one side per hour. Then Bible 180 copies, 3 years. And then impact of print. Okay, print comes to Europe பார்த்தோம். Then what we have seen? Yeah, new reading public. Okay, so a new reading public we have seen. Then okay, religious debates. Hey, religious debate la Martin Luther, tell me the year. Okay, how many theses?
95 theses.
What is the Reformation? Okay, what he had criticized?
Roman Catholic.
Practices and rituals of?
Roman Catholic.
Okay, name the two goddesses. Minerva and Mercury. Minerva, wisdom. Mercury. Yes. Okay, now also we have seen print and dissent பார்த்தோம். Reading mania. In reading mania, almanac, chapbook, periodicals, periodical press. Then finally scientific and philosophers. Scientific na Sir Isaac Newton. Then philosophers. Okay, now tremble therefore tyrants. What should come to your mind? Louis Sebastian Mercier. Hey, what you had told Nitya? Louis Sebastian Mercier. Most powerful engine of progress and public opinion. Then is a force that will sweep despotism. Okay, despotism away. So it is mainly against despotism. Very good. Then what finally Mercier proclaimed? Therefore tyrants of the world tremble before the. Okay, sit down. Rishi, tell me, print culture in the French Revolution. Okay, print popularized the ideas of Enlightenment thinkers. They attacked. What they have attacked? Sacred authority of the church and the despotic power, and the critical commentary on superstition, despotism. Okay, what is the second point, Darshini? Created a new culture of dialogue and debate. Tell me once again. Dialogue and debate. Good. Yes. So they wanted, public that had become aware of the power of reason and recognize the need to question existing ideas and beliefs. Good. Sit down. Hey, what's the third point, Karthik? Mocked the royalty and. Okay. Yes, sit down. Now, children, women, and workers we have seen now. Further innovations also we have discussed. Now, manuscripts before the age of print. Hey, you look at the figure. What you could see in the figure? These two. Gita Govindam. Okay, the pages from Gita Govinda of Jayadeva. It's a 1 mark. Gita Govinda Jayadeva. Okay. This is a palm leaf handwritten manuscript in the accordion format. Palm leaf only, but in the accordion format. அழகா the design பண்ணிருக்காங்க. புரியுதா? Hey, what is given in the picture? என்ன தெரியுது? What is that? What are the names? Geeta Govinda of Jayadeva. Yes. Sram. Manuscripts before the age of print. Okay. Manuscripts print வரதுக்கு முன்னாடி manuscripts தான் இருந்துச்சு. Already we have seen manuscripts. இங்க இன்னொரு முறை பார்க்குறேன், அவ்வளோதான். India had a very rich and old tradition handwritten manuscripts in Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian. Underline பண்ணிக்கோ. And in various vernacular languages. Manuscripts were copied on palm leaves or handmade paper. Pages were sometimes beautifully illustrated. They would be either pressed between wooden covers or seamed together to ensure preservation. அதை preserve பண்றதுக்கு நல்லா தைச்சு வச்சிருப்போம். Seam. Okay? Do you understand? Yes. Manuscripts continued to be produced till well after the introduction of print down to late 19th century. Print வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறமா manuscript யூஸ் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. Any doubts with manuscripts? Manuscripts are usually written on palm leaves, handmade papers, whatever. Okay. Manuscripts, however, were highly, first disadvantage, highly அதான் ஓகே நம்ம எக்ஸ்பென்சிவ்னு அப்போ ஆல்ரெடி பார்த்துருக்கோம். தென் ஃப்ரெஜைல், தே ஹேட் டு பி ஹேண்டில்டு கேர்ஃபுல்லி அண்ட் தே குட் நாட் பி ரெட் ஈஸிலி. ஓகே மா லுக் அட் திஸ் யா pages from the okay Navya, pages from the Divan of Hafiz. What you could see here? Generally at that time they could learn to write. Teachers dictated portions from the text from memory and students wrote them down. Many thus became literate without ever actually reading any kinds of text. Text படிக்காம நிறைய பேர் லிட்ரேட் ஆனாங்க. புரியுதா? Because they will only dictate, அப்படி காது வழியா கேட்டுக்கிட்டு they have become literate. புரியுதா? Okay, so teachers whatever they have learned from their memory they will dictate and the people, students should follow that. Because there was no printing. Yeah. Pages from Rigveda. Just இந்த மாதிரி வந்துச்சுன்னா pages from Rigveda. Ancient Vedas. What are the Vedas are available? Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharvana. Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharvana. Okay, these were the 4 ancient Vedas which will tell what is the true God. The Vedas will speak about what is the true God. True God கான characteristic qualities என்ன அப்படின்றத பத்தி பேசுறாங்க. For your kind information, these Vedas are not specifying Hinduism. They are neutral. They are giving the definition how a Lord God should be. இந்த criteria இருந்தா அவங்கள தான் நம்ம என்னன்னு சொல்லணும், லார்ட் காட்னு சொல்லணும் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி they have made those Vedas. Okay. Print comes to India. This is very important. From this 1 mark வருது. From this page you will be getting 1 marks. Yeah, 5 mark also. See, எப்படி கேட்பாங்கன்னு nobody really knows. Anything could be a question. Now the printing press first came to Goa with okay Japan who had introduced Buddhist missionaries. Okay, good. Now Jesuit priest, underline what he had done. He had learnt Konkani and printed several tracts. By 1674 about how many books? 50 books had been printed in the Konkani and Kannada languages. அடுத்து எந்த priest? Catholic priest. ஒன்னு Jesuit priest, another one Catholic priest தான் first தமிழ் book print பண்றாங்க. Okay, but Jesuit priest என்ன பண்றாரு, Konkani and Kannada languagesல print பண்றாரு. எடுத்த உடனே இயர்ஸை படிக்கணும்னு நினைக்காத, இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் மட்டும் படி. எப்படி அடுத்தடுத்த ரிவிஷன்ல இயர்ஸை பார்க்க பார்க்க ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கலி தட் வில் பி என்டர்ட். புரியுதா? ஸோ எடுத்த உடனே இயரை வச்சு டோன்ட் கெட் கன்ஃபியூஸ்ட். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கேத்தலிக் என்ன பிரிண்ட் பண்ணாங்க? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் புக் தமிழ் கொச்சின்ல தான் பண்றாங்க. அண்ட் லேட்டர் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மலையாளம் புக் ஆல்மோஸ்ட் ஒரு நியர் டு 200 இயர்ஸ்க்கு அப்புறமா தான் தே ஆர் கம்மிங் வித் 150 இயர்ஸ்க்கு அப்புறம் தே ஆர் கம்மிங் வித் மலையாளம் புக். அடுத்து டச் ப்ரொட்டஸ்டன்ட் மிஷனரிஸ் had printed 32 Tamil text, many of them translations of older. Understood? The English language press did not grow in India till quite late, even though the English East India Company began to import presses from the late 17th century. கவனிங்க, 17th century இருந்து they have imported so many printing press. இங்கிலீஷ் ஈஸ்ட் இந்தியா கம்பெனி இந்தியால தான் இருக்காங்க. ஓகே, பிரிட்டிஷ் ஈஸ்ட் இந்தியா கம்பெனி, பட் ஸ்டில் இங்கிலீஷ் அந்த அளவுக்கு which was not welcomed by Indians at all. புரியுதா? ஸோ அது it didn't grow much. அப்போ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இங்கிலீஷ் மேகசின்ஸ் வர ஆரம்பிக்குது. இதுல ஜேம்ஸ் அகஸ்டஸ் ஹிக்கி. ஜேம்ஸ் அகஸ்டஸ் ஹிக்கி, வாட் இஸ் த இயர்? Very important, 1 mark. Martin Luther 1517, James Augustus Hickey 1780. Okay, got it? Hey, James Augustus Hickey, what is the year? 1780. Martin Luther 1517. Good. James Augustus Hickey being actually the editor of Bengal Gazette, a weekly magazine that described a commercial paper open to all but influenced by none. எல்லாருக்கும் ஓப்பனா இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டாரு, ஆனா யாரும் அதை வாங்கி படிக்கல. டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட்? இட் வாஸ் ஆஸ்க்ட் இன் 1 mark. இந்த பேராகிராஃப்ல இருந்து 1 marks வருது இதுல இருந்தலாம். So it was a private English enterprise proud of its independence from colonial influence that began English printing in India. Hickey published, underline, Hickey published a lot. ரொம்ப gossip பண்ணுவாரு. Okay, company officials, they were not good, they are doing this. Okay, so many. Began English printing in India. Hickey published a lot of advertisement. Okay, sale of என்னென்ன பத்தி அவர் போடுவார் பாருங்க, important and sale of slaves. He published lot of gossip. What he had done? Gossip. Okay, about company senior officials in India. Enraged by this, they have got angry. Okay, they have got angry. Governor General Warren Hastings, underline, Warren Hastings என்ன பண்ணாரு? Persecuted Hickey and encouraged the publication of officially sanctioned newspapers that could counter the flow of information that damaged the image of the colonial government. எங்களோட இமேஜ் நீ டேமேஜ் பண்ணக்கூடாதுன்னு he was persecuted. அப்படின்னா persecution is not execution. Execution killing someone, persecution punishment. Okay, yes. By the close of 18th century, a number of newspapers, journals appeared in French. There were Indians too who began to publish Indian newspapers. The first appear was the weekly Bengal Gazette. Underline, இந்தியால முதல்ல first weekly எப்போ வந்துச்சு? Bengal Gazette, brought out by Gangadhar Bhattacharya, who was close to, okay, hey, editor na yaru? What is the year? 1718. Finally, which was brought out by Gangadhar Bhattacharya. Okay, first weekly magazine in India, Bengal Gazette. Very important, 1 mark. And இதையும் கேக்குறாங்க, மேட்ச்ல கேக்குறாங்க இத. Be clear. Any doubts? Thank you all. Okay, we'll see the remaining later. Yeah, and the box content la never ever leave anything, read completely.